guys. So, I just want to be clear about something. I am a victim of male genital mutilation, and there's no two ways around that fact. You know, a lot of people, if I came straight out and say that to them, I think either are a little bit confused at first, and when I say, circumcision, they're like, oh, but that's not genital mutilation, that's just a medical procedure. And they don't seem to understand that it's a genital alteration of a baby. And that in itself constitutes mutilation, especially if it's unwanted, especially if it's done to me and I end up hating the fact that it was done to me, especially since it removes functional, healthy tissue that is extremely sensitive, actually, scientifically, factually, simply the most sensitive skin on the penis, and serves several important functions in sex, such as lubrication, and foreplay, and different things that make it really, really worth having. So, the fact is, I have had my genitals altered as a child, and I hate that it was done, and I experienced that as mutilation. And a lot of people will invalidate that and tell me that, no, it's not that, because that's not how they experience it. And that's fine, they don't have to experience it that way. But it's wrong to tell men that because they're male, they can't be hurt, they can't be emotionally distressed, that they've had an extremely important part of their body removed against their will, in a very violent manner at that. And I want to move towards a cultural shift where it's okay for men to be victims or survivors of sexual trauma, because we are. It's actually not that much lower of a rate than women. And especially when it comes to circumcision, of course, we have much higher rates here in the United States and around the world of genital mutilation. And much like female genital mutilation, the victims don't usually recognize that it's mutilation. They don't experience it that way, they don't call it that, they call it circumcision. Whether you're male or female, you say, I'm a happily circumcised woman or man. And that's just how it is, that's just how they experience it. And that's fine, but we need to recognize that a lot of people don't experience it that way. A lot of people, a growing number of people, realize that having had a healthy, important, extremely pleasurable part of their body cut off, whether that be your clitoris or your foreskin, which are very, very similar if you actually look at them, the nerve endings and the functions they serve, they're basically both there just for your pleasure, to make sex feel a lot better. Also sexual function. They certainly cause dysfunction when they're removed, as you would expect of removing important functional tissue from the body. Of course, you're going to have some sexual dysfunction. It's no wonder that the United States has the highest rates of erectile dysfunction and Viagra use. It really shouldn't come as a surprise. We're the only ones who still alter our children's genitals. So yeah, I just want to put that frame out there and make it understood that I am a victim of male genital mutilation. I am a survivor of that. I am thriving despite that, because I've done years of emotional work and had to go through a lot, but I'm in a good place now, despite having still a lot of not being sexually where I want to be, not being able to feel the pleasure and sensitivity that I would otherwise be able to feel. It's going to take a long time for me to restore my foreskin, because it just unfortunately just grows really slowly for me. And if you say guys can just restore their foreskins and grow back. Well, first of all, they can't grow most of the nerve endings back. Second of all, yeah, a lot of guys, or at least some guys, will take tugging on their skin for an hour or two or whatever every day, which is not comfortable or fun, and it might take them 20 or 30 years to grow that skin all the way back. So, no, it's not that simple. And that's why we need to regenerate the foreskin. That's why we need to achieve that for the victims of this heinous crime, because they deserve justice, because they deserve to have the body that nature intended for them. They deserve to feel pleasure that they were born with. It's so fucking stupid that you cut off part of a child's body and expect him not to be upset. Yeah, it might be millions of dollars, but in the grand scheme of things, a few $1 million to restore natural sexual function to hundreds of millions of men, I think is well worth the investment. So please spread the word, keep speaking out, keep speaking up for yourself, even if people say, no, you're not a victim, you're fine. You're not fine. You very likely are not fine if you are watching this video on genital mutilation, and if you're aware of this issue, and the more you learn, the more horrified you are. So I'd recommend getting everybody horrified about this, get everybody to know the truth, and let's end this thing once and for all and find a solution for everyone involved, both psychologically and physically, because no one deserves to have their genitals mutilated. There's not much worse things you can do to a human being, and it was done to me. I am a survivor of male genital mutilation. Please don't invalidate me. Don't tell me. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not like I believe you, but there are people who are a lot more vulnerable than me, who are struggling with this a lot, and we need to give those men support and love and understand what they're going through. Or try to understand. It's one of the worst things you can go through. I certainly could never have understood it until I went through it, because it's like nothing else I've ever experienced, and I have not had an easy life. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Speak up. Feeling is healing. And let's end genital mutilation on this planet.